Valiant difficulty, walkthrough, champion setup, options, switching between different champions, process, all those things. Going to be talking about in this video. Going to be talking about all difficulty, or not all difficulties, all of the quests. One thing off the bat I recommend anybody to do is do the Paragon Gauntlet first. Why? You get a bit of experience on the actual champion fights rather than going in balls deep, as it were, to go and defeat some of these champions. But I'm going to go over like things that people aren't talking about when it comes to approaching this, things you should be considering, and why. And I will do a review of this, but I want to get into what champions are good and, of course, processes for it. So one thing I've got in the link in the description is a little bit of a little top tip, and then also breaking down the different sectors. It's not as easy as saying, hey, use these champions and it's fine, because the structure of it, if you're going into Valiant difficulty for the very first time, is not exactly how it is with other event quests. It is totally different. It is a gauntlet of some description, and it's good, but Kabam do need to make some improvements going into future iterations. I really like it, but there are like massive improvements that need to be made. But if Kabam do it, I think they've got a great game mode on their hands. So some quick tips off the back, just right off the back. Let's get into it. I can't repeat myself. Anyway, first of all, only get to use one champ once, right? If you got duplicates on a 6-star and 7-star version, that's great. Okay, fantastic, good for you. But point number 2, or observation 2, you need an expansive roster. So and I should really follow up here, it's not really a tip, but it's an observation. Get ranking up to the point. Yeah, you have to play well, and of course if you make a mistake, or if you make a mistake and you don't put the correct champion in place, you will get clapped. Like, I made that mistake once and I got through it. I think it cost me 1 revive, but I made a mistake. There's no do-backs. You can't kind of go back and go, oh, I'll just use a different champion. No, you got one choice, and that's it. Rank 2 champion, rank 2 7-star champions, and rank 5 6-star champions do this better, of course. Rank 4 6-stars do okay. Better if ascended. Identify regen champions per class. This is good because what you're able to do is top up your health at the like end of fight with full health, and then go and like champion reset. I'll talk about that in another video because it needs a little bit more explaining. But you can like, well, kind of manipulate the system with it. Anyway, if we're talking about popping boosts, yeah, use your class ones. Make sure to go into your loyalty store and grab some of the class-based boosts, mainly because they're going to help you out. They're just going to help you out. That's going to be a great positive for you. Check champs have strikers on those that require them. And there's also something else when it comes to nodes that is a bit tricky. I think, oh, that's it. Kabam stop doing. If it's one champion in, one champion select, don't do the kind of like cross-fight thing, because it doesn't apply. Oh, good, I've got a hashtag Avenger. Oh, great, I'm not going to get more than one fight to build and go to the next fight. You know, yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. And you can't use AQ champions you can't use AQ champions in this event. I can't remember. I thought you were meant to use them across different types of events and coverage. Anyway, those are things to consider before you go into it. If we're then talking about some of the setups, and again, let me reiterate, it's not as... I thought this would be more like the event quest, and I like this, but I feel that Kabam could do this slightly better. So from a setup perspective, it is possible that you could burn out a little bit. Kabam claim that they judge this on the people with the top prestige. Unfortunately, those with the top prestige are high spenders within the game, which isn't a fair reflection on the entire community. Again, another thing I'm going to have to go into in another video. But getting into the structure of who you use, right. If you have got 15 strong mystics, use them, right? That's easy. I think a lot of people are trying to, especially content creators, are trying to over-analyze this and make it more complex than the approach, right? It's an easy complex and easy to approach. You just look at what 15 of the strongest mystics or various different classes I've got to then focus into the paths. because you can burn out with high damage champions too early when you might need them later on, right? One thing I would note is if you have got champions you're facing off against where you're like, I'm good at evading vulture specials. A lot of people are. Keep him to an SP1. There's a flying thing towards you. Swipe back. Then do you use your strongest mystic on this champion? Or strongest champion in general? No. No, you don't. You use your weakest champion. Your weakest mystic against an easy champion to play against. And you survey. Do a spreadsheet. Do a list. Write it down now. All the defenders you're facing off against and go, well, that's an easy one. That's a hard one. As long as you know how to counter certain champions, you're fine. If you think you're going to make a mistake against Green Goblin, then you need a champion that's able to recoup back health or reverse their healing. What's that? That's right, person over there. Deathless Guillotine. Oh, I don't have that. Standard Guillotine. Well, I might not have that. Then look at which champions might be your strongest champion that you can do the most damage with. So that, again, it's considerations. Like, you have to plan your route and go, okay, well, I can get through that fight. That one there will need my strongest mystic. That one there will need whatever, right? And you just plan, you plan your route. There's not necessarily a good or bad champion. It's use your bad mystics against very easy champions. Here's a good example. Against Wolverine, like I have got a rank 3 or rank 2 Man-Thing. It's not the strongest at damage dealing. It's good enough damage dealing. I would probably save that for there. Possibly. Standard Guillotine for this one? Possibly. Where I know that I personally have a problem, and you might not have a problem, is go to, I don't know, Vision Arcus. Vision Arcus, I'm not particularly great at. So I'd save my Doctor Doom, which I find is my favourite counter to counter Vision Arcus, with that. But you've got to plan your routes. I think a lot of people just missed off this kind of like general structure. Some people have said this is Valiant Gauntlet is easy. Great, fine, right? So this is really for those that are looking at it, about to go in, and considering like what are some of the best counters to prep. This was my Mystic one. So 1.1, you can see there's a champions against Red Guardian. I would use what I said in the Paragon Gauntlet, which worked well. Either Serpent, Koye is very good, Kingpin. You can choose whatever champion, so you don't have to kind of have that worry. You had an event quest where you went in and went, hey, I didn't bring the right counter. Well, you get to choose the right counter. That's the only thing. The paths play themselves. Any mystic will do largely with that one, in theory. Okay, so when we go to 1.2, I think it's the same thing. I'm not going to try and overcomplicate this with, this champion's better than this, because it is irrelevant to it. The best champions will always be, as we said, who you've got available, but you've got to make considerations. Like on here, you have a few, 1.2, you have several evaders. You have one evader, you also have a potential auto blocker in Thor, and you've got an auto blocker in MODOK. So who you have available, again, is applicable to, okay, you've got a Falcon, Falcon can take MODOK. Okay, you've got yourself a Nick Fury. Nick Fury can take Spider-Man Cosmic. You've got a whole plethora of champions. Whatever you've got. Mole Man, for example. Mole Man, okay, well, Mole Man's got true accuracy. He can take Thor Ragnarok if he auto-blocks for whatever reason. So just consider who's on the route. Hawkeye can power control. Power controlling, Hyperion. That might be a recommended option. You've got Mordo. Mordo has got evade. So again, you plan out your route for the champions you're going to face off on there. So look out for Bullseye, Falcon, Blade. And Blade is important because he can also regen. So if you go into a fight with 20%, try and build back up to 70% health, providing you've got a 200 signature. And then you go to select the next fight with you choosing, your next champion will be at higher health. So those kind of considerations. By the way, I loved Elsa Bloodstone in this one. I think I ended up using the 6-star and 7-star version for this, so it was kind of nice. Also, Silver Sable was nice to kind of use her. Okay, 2.1 now. There's a few things to consider with 2.1, which, again, important enough. With No, you don't. Yeah, with Magneto, there are a few hashtag metals, so how you burn out on that one, I think is going to be another thing. Superior Iron Man, use Superior Iron Man's easy fight, so use something like Weapon X. You know, that. Use some of these kind of like champions that you maybe not using. Also, Negasonic, fantastic. Great option against Groot. Why? Because she does passives. What's great about passives? Well, they don't get purified or shrugged off, do they? So yeah, against Groot, fantastic. Heal blocking with Archangel against Phoenix. Yeah, there's lots of little considerations. We've also got, what was the counter? Amazing counter. Cyclops. Newly added, True Sense, counters, miss, perfect. You know, there's kind of loads of different options there to consider what is going to be helpful, but you got to plan your path, plan your route with things. You could use a Magneto against Yellow Jacket because he's hashtag metal. Again, look at this, write down who you think is going to be your good counter, and then do it. If you've got champions, great. If you don't, you're going to have to adapt, right? That's the be all and end. That's not the be all and end of. I did actually use for the end boss, which was Taskmaster, a Magneto. Didn't really get my rotation right. It worked, but I probably would have used like Juggernaut or another champion for this one. But anyway, we're going to end or kind of get to the end of the video because there are some really kind of like exciting options for. But yeah. If you've got the counters, you've got the counters. If you don't have the counters, then of course it's going to be a problem. So, what are we on now? 2.2. Okay, that's that one for Cosmics. So the Cosmic side of things, fun. There's a lot of Cosmic champions. My God, like it's taking so long to load into things with this game. Absolutely unbelievable at times, isn't it? Yeah, Poison Immune for Abomination. Consider that. Maybe a shock immune option against Guardian. I did think that may have been a good idea. I didn't do that, but it is what it is. Yondu, use a bleed immune champion, and against Spider-Ham, use an evade counter champion. Venom's very good against this. I think that's really it. There's nothing really that stands out. Miss counter for Morbius, well, you get that as part of the thing. Non-bleed champion for Omega Red, that's another thing as well. Apart from that, nothing to write home about. Miss counters for the end boss. Well, no, not miss counters actually. I'd say any champion really works here. You just got to get your rotations in. Something maybe to suppress the regen buff, or it's tough, isn't it? You need a stagger champion. Maybe a skill-based champion that can do a bit of damage. To be honest, anything really works. This is one where I made a mistake and I used Juggernaut. Why I did that, I do not know. But you do need buffs, I think, on this one. No, it may be a different one. I'm thinking that you need a load of buffs in order to actually do something. Maybe looking to suppress that regen might be quite good. Archangel may have been a good one here as well. But heal blocking? No, I don't know. Yeah, anything really that deals with that healing. Although, can you suppress it? Immune to heal block, yeah. Then it's Warlock or Archangel probably would have been good here. But anyway, that was on me to make a mistake. But yeah, when it comes to like the final two, nothing of worry. It's using tech champions, set up how you like. A miss counter maybe for Kitty Pryde with a Mega Sentinel. Ant-Man Future was good against Void. I found my debuffs were being purified, which is good, but I don't know if that was part of it. Miles Morales. Should have used a miss counter, but I managed to get through it. Guillotine 2099 against Cat Wilson. Wrong champion to use, and I would recommend to use a champion that has armor break, or do a 4-hit parry, a parry 4-hit combo, and then start again and just going to use that parry for kind of like rotation. And Yelena, I ended up just using any kind of powerful mutant champion. Go figure. It's a good kind of like option right there. And finally, for this last quest, is going to be buff immune champion for Kushala, because hey, you don't want to be hit by what is it? You don't want to be hit by it. The buffs that go on. Buff immune champion for like Titania, for Dormammu as well, as that would be degens. I use Spider-Ham. It was fine. Wong, maybe a unstoppable counter, possibly, but meh. And that's really it. There's nothing really on the routes that kind of look painful, are painful. Maybe an evade counter for Starkey, but again, you don't really need it. Human Torch against Super Skrull. I did that. I don't recommend it. I would have gone, if I was to do this again, for, say, Photon, because she's a miscounter and better miscounter, or Death of She-Hulk, and rotate around who I used when I used it. And the end champion, I used Juggernaut. This time was fine. Didn't get clapped. Actually did get clapped, but hey, one shot. It is what it is. Anyway, that's been it for the video. That's been like a little kind of like overview of some top tips when it comes to Valiant difficulty. I am now going to go to bed because it is now past 11 PM and I've got to get this video done and to you for a Tuesday morning before we work on a regen trick in this game mode. But yeah, another well, I don't know, I'm off. Bye.